You're watching Ride Like a Local with Belt Drive Betty. Welcome back to another episode of Ride Like a Local. This week we're in Nisku at a fashion show for our veterans, and then we're also in Nisku for the Ride for Mum. Stay tuned. Voted as Canada's most rider-friendly community of the 2016 riding season is Port Alberni, British Columbia, home to one of the longest-running toy runs in Canada, the Port Alberni Toy Run. Bordered on the east by the Beaufort Mountains and on the west by the Pacific Ocean, the Vancouver Island Riders' Paradise, Port Alberni, is Canada's most rider-friendly community. Visit www.portalberni.ca to find out more. I'm in Nisku, Alberta at Blackjacks Roadhouse. We've just come in from an amazing 200-kilometer ride for the inaugural Ride for Mom. And I'm with one of the ladies from Sage, who is going to be a beneficiary of the Ride for Mom, along with some of the other Edmonton and area shelters. So tell us a little bit about what you guys do and why this ride is so important for you guys.
I manage the Sage Senior Safe House, which is a shelter for seniors needing safety from abuse. We are part of the Alberta Council of Women's Shelters, and we work together to provide safety for people needing safety from domestic violence. Our shelter shelters men and women, and of course the domestic violence shelter, the other domestic violence shelters shelter women and children. So this is really important for us to bring attention to the work we do in the Edmonton area around domestic violence and elder abuse. Get the word out and reach out to people about what we do.
And when you say elder abuse, now, a few people have probably seen a couple of those commercials, but elder abuse isn't talked about a lot. So tell my audience a little bit about some of the things that you guys witness.
Right. So in our shelter, the 50% of the people who come through our shelter have been abused by an adult child or grandchild, niece, nephew, and that really lends itself to people not talking about experiencing abuse. Typically, the abuse is financial, emotional, physical, although it can also be sexual. It can be medication abuse, meaning over-medicating, under-medicating, and it can also be neglect. It doesn't get talked about because of the people don't want to admit or acknowledge that it's their kids that are harming them. With the 30%, it is spousal. It could be a long history of spousal abuse and coming to a place of, I just can't deal with this anymore. We've had people who've come in who've spent 40 years in a domestic violence situation. The children have grown and left, and now it's just the two together, and they need to, now they're taking the time to get safe. And the other percentage of people, it's a roommate or a landlord. So it's kind of a weird position to be in, that admitting that you're vulnerable and that people are taking advantage and harming you. So there's a lot of things that contribute to not being talked about.
Well, I want to thank you very much, first of all, for the work that you do, and for taking a few minutes to share some of that information with our audience.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for your interest. Thank you.
Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, home to the Cabot Trail and the Cape Breton Bike Rally. With some of the most magnificent riding and the friendliest of people one can find anywhere, Cape Breton is the runner-up community in Canada's most rider-friendly community contest. Visit CapeBretonBikeRally.com to find out why. The Sports Camera Store in West Edmonton Mall is your one-stop shop for drift and GoPro action cameras. We carry Canada's largest selection of action cam accessories, along with video sunglasses, hidden and surveillance cameras, and more. Visit www.sportscamerastore.com or stop into our West Edmonton Mall location, lower level by the bay. I'm being joined right now by my co-members of the inaugural board for the Ride for Mom. This is Michaela Wallace.
Hello.
And Krista Shields. And the three of us have worked, along with Tyler Grant, who's a member of the Blackjacks Roadhouse staff, to really work and put this whole Ride for Mom thing together. This was a vision of Clarence Shields, Krista's dad, for about 3-4 years now, and we finally got the job done. How's that feel, Krista?
Amazing. I'm really happy it's over with, to be honest. The weather could have been better, but it's a great ride, and it's supporting a cause that we're very passionate about, and that's our biggest thing, is just raising money for a good cause.
Absolutely. Michaela, what brought you to the Ride for Mom?
Really, I think that it was experiencing the Shields family and Blackjacks last year with the Fort McMurray fundraiser that we did and the bike nights, and there was an opportunity for someone like me to join, and it was a no-brainer.
I think that for me, just because I'm a survivor of domestic violence, that was one of the big pushes for me. So ladies, what do you think for next year? Mother Nature's going to cooperate? Are we all putting in our witchy nose action now?
Yes, the weather will be great, and we're expecting big rides.
110% next year is going to be incredible, and we hope to see everybody there.
And if you don't come, I'm going to have something to say about that, folks. So come on. The Ride for Mom next May. You got to come out. We really want to see this ride grow to 400 or 500 riders. For our inaugural ride, the first 32 bikes that came with us in really cold weather, we are so grateful to all of you diehards. Love you all. Keep the shiny side up.